morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Shenell Felix. And whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. This morning, we are obviously continuing our discussions on that new airport terminal at the A.N.R. Robinson International Airport. And as we do so this morning, I have the privilege of speaking to a man who made an address at that practical opening ceremony on Saturday, one that many sit and they remember, and one that was well spoken about. This morning we are chatting with Martin George, who is the chairman of the Tobago Business Chamber. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to you, Chanel, and good morning to all your viewers on Tobago Updates, and good morning, Tobago.
Morning. Now you gave a some memorable remarks on Saturday in regards to what this new airport means for Tobago and how important adding a new room stock is to the island's tourism development. Good morning again. And so tell us a bit about that.
Yes, the thing is, as I said, the airport is just a first step because, it's a wonderful facility. We were able to tour the entire building and stuff like that, and it is amazing. It really, really is. It is a world class, first class facility that can stand toe to toe with any other in any part of the world. So, it's something that you can really feel proud of as a terminal. You compare that to Piaco, it is chalk and cheese. Seriously, Piaco, you don't even want to see Piaco. I'm telling you. So it's something that I think that it has so much potential and so much capacity that I think we have to really make sure that we maximize its use and its potential. And therefore, the only way we can do that effectively and efficiently would be if we are able to say to people, hey, listen, let's ensure we have sufficient hotel room stock in Tobago, because clearly we don't, let's be realistic. We don't have enough hotel rooms to attract the thousands of visitors who will be able to make use of that type of airport facility. So therefore, we must increase our hotel room stock. We must ensure that we get back the large flights coming to Tobago. Look at what happened with St. Vincent. Since they got their, large resort, the Sandals brand in their island, listen, St. Lucia is laughing all the way to the bank. A friend of mine showed me a picture with several large airlines on the ground at one time in St. Vincent, and he said it's all due to them having that land name hotel. So, we have to be realistic. And we're not at all saying that, we have no place for the small operators, the small guest houses, the mom and pop operations where you will have somebody with, a couple of rooms to rent for Airbnb. Sure, that's all part of your mix because you need a mix of product to be able to offer to visitors. But in order to attract the large airlines and to ensure that you have proper use and value for this type of airport facility, you definitely need to get some large brand name hotels into Tobago.
Excellent. And so we heard the Prime Minister saying in his address that he has invited Sandals to come back to the negotiating table and that the new Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young, would be leading that discussion. And he invited the Chief Secretary as well as Assemblyman Watson Duke into that discourse. Where would you like to see that discussion go? And do you have any advice for them going into those negotiations?
Well, the thing is, let me tell you, I had the privilege of being able to be privy to some of the details of what Sandals had planned for Tobago. And they had planned it such that they were planning a large, facility such that they were able to say, look, this would be the best Sandals ever. So they were planning it such that they were going to do the overwater villas, they were going to do everything. And then remember, it was going to be two hotels, the Sandals, which is the adults only, and then the beaches, which is the entire family. You're talking about two massive resorts. And let me tell you, once you have facilities like that, you don't even have to worry about flights because they bring their flights with them. So the airlines, once they know there's a Sandals on your island, they are going to start coming. So therefore, that's why it dovetails nicely with the airport, and you are able to now say, hey, listen, this facility definitely has been put to good use and has lived up to its potential.
Understood. And so we have approximately 3 to 6 months before the airport is fully functional, back and up and running. What advice do you have for Tobagonians as it relates to being prepared for this opening?
Okay, so like for instance, during the tour, I was amazed at the amount of space allocated for concessionaires. So it seems that there is a tremendous opportunity for concessionaires, but of course that would only make sense if we get the volume of passengers passing through. But if it is that we reached a point where you really have those volumes, let me tell you, those concessionaires, you can really, really maximize the use of this facility. It means also that we have to step up our game, because remember now, you are talking about a scenario where you are in a world class international airport terminal. So you think in terms of, you landing at Miami International, you see how their terminal is. You think of landing at Fort Lauderdale International, you think of landing, say, for instance, in Dubai. You have to start thinking international in your outlook. The reason why I'm saying that, okay, let me give you an example. A few years ago, while I was in Thailand, I was able to see things like bene balls, tamarind balls, popo balls. They prepared them and made them in nice, small, neat, round sizes and shapes. And they package them in some nice, clear, hard plastic containers, where, so they wouldn't get crushed or squeezed. You open it and you could scoop up like about 3, 4, 5 of them. And listen, man, I was popping these things like Skittles, even the little Bene balls. They made them so, it was so easy to eat them. It was so user friendly. Now, there's nothing wrong with the, big hard jawbreaker Bene balls, but we have to understand not everybody could manage with that. And even your packaging and presentation, you need to step up the game. If you understand me, you can't just be tying them in a little old plastic bag and saying, hey, if you understand me, because you are now in an international world-class facility where presentation matters, packaging matters, if you understand me, right? So
I
we,
am
we,
glad
we
that
need
you
to
brought
start
up the
thinking in
idea
terms
of
of those
them
things.
increasing the quality of not just the production but the packaging as well as they
And
appeal to.
presentation,
Right.
yes. We,
But I
we have to
know
understand that.
as it pertains to the RFP for those local suites and concessionaires, those individuals have the ability to create the space that they want. And to be more
Mhm.
competitive, they have to present proposals for how they are going to package those goods and things like that. So I'm glad that you brought that up. So for the persons who are interested in, securing one of those booths in the international airport, that is a huge part of the application process to, be able to sell. How are
Right.
you going to improve the space? How are you going to make it user friendly, but also reflective of an authentic Tobago identity? And that has a lot to
and
do with
and
the
and,
quality
and
and
you can have
packaging as
both.
well.
And so we need to understand we can have both. So I'm not at all saying don't have the benefit. I want them to be there, but we have to understand that there must be some kind of modification in your packaging, presentation, etc. We just have to make that evolution, so to speak.
All right, excellent. I'm glad that you brought that up. And even as it pertains to the airport, I've heard comments on all sides. I heard someone saying one thing that they did not like about the new airport and how it is structured is the fact that when you walk in, there are those desks. Sorry, I forgot what you call the check-in, right? You have the check-in counters, but you have to go through
Yeah, but you also
security
have the
before.
automatic scanning terminals. Yes,
Sorry.
the automatic self check-in
Right,
kiosks.
right, yes, the check-in
Is
counters.
that what you were speaking of?
Yeah, yeah, the check definitely. But and then you have to go into security. But you have to have a boarding pass before you get into security and then being able to access some of those concessionaires. There are the persons who are of the opinion that there should be concessionaires even before you get to security clearance so that persons are able
Right.
to just walk in the airport and patronize a number of the businesses.
I think it's because of where the concessionaire area is located. And I'll tell you why, right? Because of the fact that I actually did the full tour, right? Where the concessionaire area is located, they put it between the local gates, domestic gate, and the international gates. So I think you therefore have to have some sort of security clearance. And I'll tell you, even the concessionaires, they themselves and all their assistants and helpers and everybody will need to have security clearance in order to even access their booths, because of where it's located. So what they try to do is to serve both the local domestic flights and the international flights. But yes, you're quite correct. Where it is located there, you are not able to have persons coming, just dropping by the airport and saying, hey, listen, I want to buy some Bene balls or I want to buy some sugar cake, that kind of thing. No, it doesn't allow that. You really have to have a boarding pass and pass through security, whether domestic or international security checks.
Do you think that leaves Tobagonians at a disadvantage? In that when you look at
Not
Piaco,
at
it's
all.
easy to just pull
Let me
up there,
explain.
go run in,
No,
maybe get a
let me
Starbucks
explain.
coffee or.
Right, let me explain. What I think would be necessary is to create an area, because trust me, they have enough space to be able to do it. You see, like how at Piaco, you have the food court inside where you have the same Starbucks and all these others inside the airport. But then remember, outside, if you walk down to the western end of the airport, past the car rentals and stuff like that, and you walk outside, you have the local food court where you could get your doubles, your sahina, your aloo pie, your this, that, the other. You get all your local stuff there right outside. So the point is, who want to just come and purchase, they just go straight there. So it's the same kind of idea that I think could be implemented, and I would definitely put as a suggestion, because I did not hear it mentioned, but in touch with Mr. Herbert George from NIDCO, and I will tell him that that's a suggestion that people are asking about.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that suggestion could be made from your platform, Mr. George. We're going to take a quick break
Yes.
and we'll be back and we'll chat a bit about that UK visa entry requirement. So see you soon.